The kingdom of Valdoria had stood for 300 years. Its stone walls held secrets. Its golden halls whispered stories. But nothing prepared anyone for what would happen on a cold October morning, Captain. Marcus stood outside the council chamber. His hand rested on his sword. His eyes watched the heavy oak doors. 20 years he had served the crown. 20 years of loyalty. 20 years of trust. But today, something felt wrong. The meeting inside had been going on for 3 hours. King Edmund never held meetings this long, not without his royal guard present. Marcus could hear voices through the thick doors. Angry voices, urgent voices. He shifted his weight. The leather of his armor creaked softly. Down the corridor, morning light streamed through tall windows. Everything looked normal. Everything felt dangerous. Then he heard it. A name. His name. Marcus moved closer to the door. His heart pounded. He pressed his ear against the cold wood. "Marcus has served us faithfully," the king's voice said. "But he knows too much." The captain's blood ran cold. "And we deal with him," another voice replied. "Lord Chancellor Victor, the king's closest advisor. An accident. A mission that goes wrong. No one would question it. If you're watching this, hit that subscribe button, because what happens next will shock you. This isn't just a story. It's a reminder that truth can hide in the darkest places." Marcus pulled back from the door. His mind raced. They were planning to kill him. The king he had protected. The crown he had defended. They wanted him dead. But why? His hand moved to his belt. Hidden beneath his cloak was something he had carried for weeks. A small recording device. A gift from a traveling merchant who claimed it could capture voices clearly, even through walls. Marcus had bought it on a whim. For protection, he had told himself. In case he ever needed proof of something. Now, he thanked the gods he had. With trembling fingers, he activated the device. The tiny crystal inside began to glow faintly. It was recording everything. Every word spoken in that chamber was now being captured. "When should we do it?" A third voice asked. Duke Harrison. A man Marcus had saved from assassins 2 years ago. "Tomorrow night," Victor said. "During the patrol, send him to the northern border. There are bandits there. Make it look like he died protecting the realm." "Perfect," the king said. His voice was tired, sad even. Marcus is a good man. But he discovered the truth about the treasury. About where the gold is really going. Marcus felt sick. The treasury. 3 months ago, he had noticed something strange. The kingdom's gold reserves were shrinking. But taxes were higher than ever. Where was the money going? He had asked questions. Quietly. Carefully. That was his mistake. "Once Marcus is gone," Victor continued, "we can move forward with the plan. Duke Harrison, your soldiers are ready. They await your command, my lord. Good, then by next week the northern provinces will be ours. The people will think it's a rebellion. They'll never know we staged it ourselves." Oh, Marcus stopped breathing. This wasn't just about him. This was treason. The king, the chancellor, and the duke were planning to betray the entire kingdom. They were going to fake a rebellion, seize the northern lands, and blame it on the people. And they needed Marcus dead because he had started. Asking the wrong questions, the recording device grew warm in his hand. It was all there. Every word. Every plan. But what could he do with it? If he went to the royal court, Victor controlled it. If he went to the city guard, the duke had bought their loyalty. If he went to the people, who would believe a single soldier over their king, Marcus backed away from the door. His boots made no sound on the stone floor. He had been trained to move like a shadow. Now that training would save his life. The meeting inside was ending. He could hear chairs scraping. Footsteps approaching. He had one day. One day to decide what to do with the truth he carried. One day before they tried to kill him, Marcus turned and walked down the corridor. Behind him, the council chamber doors began to open. He didn't look back. Asterisk, that night, Marcus sat in his small quarters. The recording device lay on the wooden table before him. Its faint glow had faded. The crystal inside now held the most dangerous secret in Valdoria. He couldn't sleep. Every creak in the hallway made him reach for his sword. Every shadow outside his window looked like an assassin. They would come for him tomorrow. He knew that now. The Northern Patrol. The convenient bandit attack. His body would be brought back draped in the kingdom's flag. They would call him a hero. Then they would bury him with their lies. Marcus stood and walked to the window. The city spread below him. Thousands of people sleeping peacefully. Farmers, merchants, families. They had no idea what was coming. A fake rebellion, war, death, all for gold and power. He thought about his own family. His wife had died 5 years ago. No children. His parents were long gone. He had given everything to the crown. His youth, his dreams, his loyalty. And this was his reward. A knock on the door made him spin around. His hand found his sword handle. "Captain," a young voice called. "It's Thomas." Marcus relaxed slightly. Thomas was a new recruit. 17 years old, eager, honest. The boy reminded Marcus of himself. 2 decades ago, he opened the door. Thomas stood there in his guard uniform. Too big for his thin frame. His face was pale. "Sir, I need to tell you something." The boy's voice shook. Marcus pulled him inside and closed the door. "What is it?" "I overheard the Chancellor talking to Commander Drake. They were discussing tomorrow's patrol." "Your patrol?" Thomas swallowed hard. "Sir," they said. "They said you wouldn't be coming back. So they were already spreading the word. Making sure the right people knew. Making sure no one asked questions when Marcus died." "I know," Marcus said quietly. Thomas's eyes went wide. "You know? Then why are you still here? Why don't you run?" "Because running makes me look guilty. And because if I run, they win." The boy looked confused, lost. He had joined the guard believing in honor, in justice. Now he was learning the truth. Power corrupted everything it touched. "What are you going to do?" Thomas asked. Marcus picked up the recording device. "I'm going to fight back, but I need your help." Thomas straightened. "Anything, sir?" "Tomorrow morning, before the patrol, I need you to take this to someone." Marcus held up the device. "There's one person in this kingdom who might still care about the truth. Princess Catherine." The princess. "King Edmund's daughter. She was 23, smart, strong-willed. She had always questioned her father's decisions. Challenged his policies. The court whispered that she was too bold for a woman. Marcus thought she was exactly what Valdoria needed." "The princess?" Thomas whispered. "But she's in the Eastern Tower. No one gets in without the king's permission. You'll find a way. You're small, quick. The guards rotate at dawn. There's a window of 5 minutes when the east entrance is unwatched." Marcus handed Thomas the device. "Give this to her. Tell her it's from me. Tell her to listen to every word." Thomas took the device with shaking hands. "What if they catch me? Then we both die." Marcus put his hand on the boy's shoulder. "But if you succeed, you might save the kingdom." The weight of those words hung in the air. Thomas nodded. "I'll do it, sir. I swear." "Good. Now go. Rest. Tomorrow, everything changes." After Thomas left, Marcus prepared himself. He wrote a letter to Catherine. Simple words. Direct. If the recording device wasn't enough, maybe his written testimony would be. He packed light. A small bag. Some gold coins. A spare dagger. If things went wrong tomorrow, he would need to disappear quickly. But there was something else he needed to do. Marcus left his quarters in the dead of night. He moved through the castle like a ghost. Years of guard duty meant he knew every passage. Every blind spot. Every secret route. He made his way to the treasury. The massive iron doors were locked. But Marcus had keys. Captain of the Royal Guard meant access to almost everything. He slipped inside. Gold coins reflected torchlight. Jewels sparkled in neat rows. But something was off. The treasury looked full. But Marcus knew better. He walked to the far wall. Pressed a stone brick, a hidden panel slid open. Behind it, nothing. Empty shelves. Empty crates. This was the real treasury. And it was almost bare. Marcus understood now. The gold on display was just for show. For inspections. For ceremony. The real wealth of Valdoria had been moved, stolen, used to fund. Victor's plan. He took out a piece of parchment and sketched the hidden room. Drew a map. This would be his proof. Combined with the recording, Catherine would have everything she needed as he worked. Footsteps echoed outside. Marcus froze. The footsteps came closer. Stopped at the treasury door. Keys jingled. Someone was coming inside. Marcus looked around. No other exit. No place to hide except behind the gold displays. He moved. Quickly. Silently. Pressed himself against the wall behind a stack of coin crates. The door opened. Torchlight spilled into the room. "Make it quick," a voice said. "Lord Chancellor Victor, I want to be done before the captain makes his rounds." Another set of footsteps entered. "Duke Harrison, how much do we need to move tonight?" Harrison asked. "Enough to pay the mercenaries? They arrive at the northern border in 3 days. Once Marcus is dead, we begin." Marcus's heart hammered. He held his breath. If they found him here, he was dead. No questions. No trial, just dead. The two men moved deeper into the treasury. They were heading straight for the hidden panel, straight for Marcus. Marcus pressed harder against the wall. The cold stone dug into his back. Victor and Harrison were 10 feet away, then 8, then 5. His hand moved slowly to his dagger. If they discovered him, he would have to fight. 2 against 1. In a locked room, no one would hear him die. "Did you hear something?" Harrison stopped suddenly. Marcus stopped breathing. Victor held up his torch. The light danced across the walls. Across the gold, so close to where Marcus hid. It's nothing. This old castle always makes noise. Victor continued forward. They reached the hidden panel. Victor pressed the stone. The secret door slid open. "Unbelievable," Harrison muttered. "We've taken millions. And the fool king thinks his treasury is full." "Edmund is weak," Victor said. "He trusts too easily. He believes what he wants to believe. That's why he'll die easier than most." Marcus's jaw clenched. They weren't just betraying the kingdom. They were planning to kill the king too. Victor pulled out a ledger. "We have enough now. The mercenaries will storm the northern cities. We'll blame the rebels. Then, in the chaos, the king will have an unfortunate accident." "And Princess Catherine?" Harrison asked. "She'll be dealt with. The girl asks too many questions, like her mother did." A chill ran down Marcus's spine. The queen had died 12 years ago. Everyone said it was illness. But the way Victor spoke now killed the queen, Harrison said quietly. "It wasn't a question. She discovered what we were doing, just like Marcus did, just like Catherine might." Victor closed the ledger. "Some people are too curious for their own good." They gathered bags of gold, heavy leather sacks that clinked with coins. As they worked, Marcus counted the seconds, waiting, watching, looking for any chance to escape, but they blocked the only exit.
"That's enough,"
Victor finally said. "Let's go. We have a long ride ahead." They moved toward the door. Marcus allowed himself to breathe again. Then his boots scraped against stone. The sound was tiny, barely audible, but Victor heard it. The Chancellor spun around. His eyes scanned the darkness. "Who's there?" Marcus didn't move, didn't breathe. "Show yourself," Victor commanded. His hand went to his sword. Silence filled the treasury. Harrison drew his blade. "Someone's here. I can feel it." They started searching, moving between the displays. Getting closer to Marcus's hiding spot, Marcus had seconds to decide. Fight or run. Kill or be killed. He chose option 3. In one fluid motion, he grabbed a gold coin. threw it hard across the room. It clattered against the far wall. Victor and Harrison spun toward the sound. Marcus ran. He burst from his hiding spot, sprinted for the door. His boots pounded against stone. Victor shouted, "Stop him!" Marcus reached the door, slammed it shut behind him. His fingers fumbled with the lock, locked it from the outside, inside. Victor and Harrison pounded on the iron door, shouted, threatened, but the treasury was built to keep people out, which meant it also kept people in. Marcus ran through the corridors. Behind him, the pounding grew fainter. He had minutes, maybe less. Soon, other guards would hear the noise, would come to investigate. He had to disappear. Marcus made it to his quarters, grabbed his packed bag. The letter to Catherine. He paused for 1 second, looked around the small room that had been his home for 20 years, then he left it behind forever. Through the castle, down the servants' stairs, out into the night. The city was dark, quiet. Marcus pulled his hood up, kept to the shadows. He knew where he needed to go. Thomas lived in the lower district, a small apartment above a bakery. Marcus moved quickly through the empty streets. Every sound made him jump. Every shadow could be an enemy. He reached the bakery as dawn began to break, climbed the outside stairs, knocked softly on Thomas's door. No answer. He knocked again. Harder, the door opened. Thomas stood there, half asleep. His eyes went wide when he saw Marcus. "Sir." "What are you?" "They know," Marcus said, pushing inside. "They know I was in the treasury. Everything's moved up. We don't have until tomorrow. We have hours." Thomas was suddenly awake, alert. "What do we do?" "The plan stays the same. Get that recording to Princess Catherine. But it has to be now. Before Victor gets free and sends guards after me." "Where will you go?" "Somewhere they can't find me. But Thomas, listen to me carefully." Marcus gripped the boy's shoulders. "If this goes wrong, if Catherine doesn't believe you, you run. You take that device and you run as far as you can. Find someone who will listen. A neighboring kingdom. A traveling judge. Anyone. I won't let you down, sir." Marcus looked at the young guard. So much hope in his eyes. So much faith. He wanted to tell him that hope was dangerous. That faith could get you killed. But instead he said, "I know you won't." They left together. Marcus headed west, toward the old city walls. Thomas went east toward the castle. As they parted ways, Marcus called back softly, "Thomas, thank you." Id boy nodded, then disappeared into the morning mist. Marcus moved through the awakening city. Vendors were setting up stalls. Workers headed to their jobs. Everything looked normal, but nothing was normal anymore. He reached the western gate just as it opened for the day. Guards checked people leaving. Looking for criminals? For smugglers? For him? Marcus joined a group of farmers. Kept his head down. Pulled a dirty cloak over his armor. "You there?" a guard called. "Stop." Marcus's hand went to his hidden dagger. "You dropped this." The guard held out a small pouch. It must have fallen from one of the farmers. Marcus relaxed, nodded, kept moving. Through the gate. Out into the countryside. Behind him, Valdoria's towers rose against the dawn sky. Somewhere in that castle, Thomas was risking his life. Princess Catherine was about to learn the truth, and Marcus was about to become the most wanted man in the kingdom. But for the first time in 20 years, he felt something strange. He felt free. Princess Catherine stood before her mirror. Morning light filtered through her window. Another day in her golden cage. She hated the Eastern Tower. Hated the way her father kept her locked away like some precious jewel. She was a princess, yes. But she was also a person with thoughts, ideas, dreams, beyond marriage and ceremony. A soft knock interrupted her thoughts. "Enter," she called. Her handmaiden Alina stepped inside. But she wasn't alone. A young guard followed her. He looked nervous, terrified even. "Your Highness," Alina said quietly. This guard says he has an urgent message. From Captain Marcus. Catherine turned. Marcus. She knew him well. A good man, honest, one of the few in the castle who spoke to her like she had a brain. Leave us, she told Elena. The handmaiden hesitated. Your Highness, I'm not supposed to? I'll be fine. Go. Elena left, though her worried glance said everything. Catherine studied the young guard. You're Thomas, aren't you? New recruit. Yes, Your Highness. He bowed awkwardly. Captain Marcus asked me to give you something. He pulled out a small device. Crystal and metal. It glowed faintly in his palm. Catherine had seen devices like this. Traveling merchants sold them. Recording tools? Very expensive. Very rare. What is this? She asked. A recording, Your Highness. Of a conversation between your father and Lord Chancellor Victor and Duke Harrison. Thomas's voice shook. The captain said you need to hear it. All of it. Before it's too late. Something in his tone made her stomach tighten. Before what's too late? They're going to kill him. Today, they're going to kill Captain Marcus and make it look like an accident. Catherine took the device. That's a serious accusation. Listen to the recording, Your Highness. Please. Then decide if I'm lying. She looked at Thomas. Really looked at him. His hands trembled. Sweat beaded on his forehead. He was genuinely scared. Where is Marcus now? She asked. He's gone. They discovered him in the treasury last night. He ran. He's wanted for treason now. Treason. Marcus. Catherine almost laughed. That man is more loyal than anyone in this castle. Then listen to why they want him dead. Catherine sat down. Activated the device. Pressed it close to her ear. At first, nothing. Then voices. Her father's voice. Clear. Real. Marcus has served us faithfully. But he knows too much. She listened to the entire recording. Every word. Every plan. The fake rebellion. The stolen gold. The planned assassination. Her hands shook. When it ended, Catherine sat in silence. The device slipped from her fingers. Your Highness, Thomas whispered. Get out, she said quietly. But get out. Her voice cracked. Thomas ran. Catherine stood. Walked to her window. Looked out at the kingdom. Her kingdom. Her father's kingdom, built on lies. She had suspected something was wrong. Her father had changed over the years. Become distant. Secretive. She had blamed grief. Her mother's death had broken him, but now she understood. Her father hadn't broken from grief. He had broken from guilt, and Victor had been there, whispering, guiding, corrupting Catherine. Wore something simple, dark. She hid a dagger in her belt. Then she left her chambers. The guards outside her door straightened. Your Highness, you're not supposed to leave without I'm going to see my father, she said firmly. Will you stop me? They exchanged glances. Let her pass. She didn't go to her father. She went to find Marcus. Catherine had resources most people didn't know about. Secret passages. Loyal servants. Information networks. Being ignored by the court meant people forgot she was watching. Listening. Learning. She found Elena in the kitchens. I need your help. Elena looked up from her work. Saw Catherine's face. What's wrong? Everything. I need to leave the castle. Now, without anyone knowing. That's impossible. The gates are watched. The walls are guarded. There's a tunnel. Beneath the old wine cellar. My mother showed it to me when I was a child. Catherine grabbed Elena's hand. Come with me, please. I can't do this alone. Elena saw the desperation in her eyes. What's happened? I'll explain on the way. But we're running out of time. They moved through the castle carefully, down forgotten staircases, through servants' passages, to the wine cellar that no one used anymore. Behind a rack of dusty bottles, Catherine found the hidden door, pulled it open. A tunnel stretched into darkness. My mother used this to escape the castle, Catherine explained as they descended. When she needed to see the city, To help people without the court knowing. Your mother was brave, Alina said. My mother was murdered, Catherine replied, and I'm going to prove it. The tunnel opened into the woods outside the city walls. Catherine and Alina emerged into daylight. Now what? Alina asked. Now we find Marcus. But where would a fugitive captain go? He couldn't stay in the city. Too many guards. Too many eyes. He would head for the countryside. Maybe the northern villages where he had friends. Wait, Catherine said. I know where he is. How? Because I know Marcus. He won't run far. He'll stay close. Watching. Waiting. She turned to Alina. The old mill. East of the city. He used to take wounded soldiers there during the last war. It's abandoned now. Hidden. They ran through the woods. Catherine's dress caught on branches. Her shoes weren't made for running. But she didn't stop. The old mill appeared through the trees. Broken windows. Rotting wood. Perfect hiding place. Catherine approached carefully. Marcus, it's Catherine. Princess Catherine. I'm alone. Well, almost alone. She gestured to Alina. I listened to the recording. I know everything. Silence. Then a voice from inside. You shouldn't be here, Your Highness. Neither should you. But here we are. Marcus emerged from the mill. He looked tired. Older. His captain's armor was gone. Now he wore simple clothes. A fugitive's disguise. You shouldn't have come, he said again. You gave me the truth. Now, I'm giving you something in return. Catherine stepped closer. Help, an ally. Someone who can fight back. This isn't your fight. It's exactly my fight. That's my father on that recording. My kingdom being stolen. My mother, who might have been murdered.
Out.
Her voice broke. Don't tell me this isn't my fight. Marcus looked at her. Really looked at her. Saw the determination. The anger. The pain. What do you propose? He asked. We expose them. All of them. Victor Harrison. My father. She pulled out the recording device. We take this to the people. We let them hear the truth. And then what? They'll call us traitors. Liars. The king's word against ours. Then we find more proof, Catherine said. The hidden treasury. The mercenaries. The stolen gold. There has to be a trail.
You're
Talking about going against your own father? I'm talking about saving my kingdom? Marcus smiled. Tired, sad. Your mother would be proud. Catherine's eyes filled with tears. My mother would be alive if people like Victor didn't exist. So we stopped them, Marcus said. Together, Catherine agreed. Behind them, Alina cleared her throat. Hate to interrupt, but we have a problem. She pointed toward the city. Riders, dozens of them. Heading their way, Victor had found them. How many? Marcus asked. Alina squinted.
about 20.
Maybe more. You're not here to talk, Catherine said. Marcus grabbed her arm. There's a back way. Through the river path. It's narrow, but horses can't follow. They ran. Behind them, shouts echoed. The riders had spotted them. Hoofbeats thundered closer. The river path was exactly as Marcus described, narrow, rocky, dangerous. They slipped and stumbled down the steep bank. Cold water sprayed their legs. Keep moving, Marcus urged. An arrow whizzed past Catherine's head. Struck a tree trunk. They're shooting. Alina screamed. Don't stop. Marcus pulled them forward. More arrows. One grazed Marcus's shoulder. He grunted but kept running. The path curved ahead, led deeper into the forest. If they could reach the thick trees, the arrows would be useless. Catherine's lungs burned. Her legs ached. She had never run like this. Never fought for her life. Another arrow. This one hit Alina. The handmaiden cried out. Fell. Clutched her leg. Alina. Catherine stopped. Turn back. Go. Alina shouted. I'll slow you down. I'm not leaving you. Marcus was already lifting Alina. Got her. Move. They crashed through the forest. Branches whipped their faces. Roots tried to trip them. Behind them, the riders reached the river path, abandoned their horses, continued on foot. There, Marcus pointed ahead. Cave. We can defend it. The cave entrance was small. Hidden behind fallen rocks, they squeezed inside. The darkness swallowed them. Marcus set Alina down gently, checked her wound. The arrow had gone through her calf. Painful, but not fatal. I need to break the shaft, he told her. This will hurt, Alina nodded. Bit down on her sleeve, Marcus snapped the arrow. Alina muffled her scream. Outside, voices grew closer. Boot steps. Swords being drawn, Captain Marcus. A voice called, Lord Chancellor Victor, come out. The princess too. No one else has to die today. Catherine moved to the cave entrance. Marcus tried to stop her, but she pushed past. You murdered my mother, she shouted into the forest. Silence. Then Victor appeared between the trees. Older than Marcus, softer, but his eyes were hard, cold. Your mother was weak, he said, like your father. This kingdom needs strength. This kingdom needs justice, Catherine replied. Justice is whatever those in power say it is. Victor smiled. And I have the power now. Your father will sign whatever I tell him to. The people will believe whatever story I create. You and Marcus, you'll be forgotten. Traitors who died resisting arrest. I have the recording, Catherine said. Victor's smile faded. Give it to me. No, then I'll take it from your corpse, he gestured. His soldiers moved forward. 20 armed men. Against one wounded captain, an injured handmaiden, and a princess with no combat training. The odds were impossible. Marcus stepped beside Catherine, drew his sword. Behind me, your highness? Not hiding behind anyone, she said. Drew her small dagger. Victor laughed. How noble. How foolish. Kill them. The soldiers advanced. Then a sound, deep, powerful, a horn. Everyone froze. The horn sounded again. From the east, through the trees, riders appeared. But not Victor's men. These wore different colors, different armor. The Northern Guard. Leading them was Commander Sarah, a woman. Marcus had trained 10 years ago. Tough, loyal, incorruptible. Stand down, Sarah commanded. Her voice cut through the forest. Victor spun around. Commander, what are you doing here? Responding to a message. Sarah rode forward. A young guard named Thomas reached us this morning. Told us everything. Gave us a copy of the recording. Catherine's heart soared. Thomas had made copies. Smart boy? You're believing the word of a traitor? Victor demanded. I'm believing the voice of my king, Sarah said coldly. Plotting against his own kingdom. I heard it myself. We all did. Behind her, 50 Northern Guards drew their weapons. Victor's face went white. This is a misunderstanding. The only misunderstanding is that you thought you'd get away with it. Sarah dismounted, walked toward Victor. Lord Chancellor Victor, Duke Harrison, you're under arrest for treason. You can't arrest me. I'm the Chancellor. You are the Chancellor. Now you're just a criminal. Victor's soldiers looked at each other, looked at the Northern Guards. Slowly, they lowered their weapons. No one wanted to die for a traitor. Victor reached for his sword. Sarah was faster. Her blade pressed against his throat. Don't. He froze. Duke Harrison tried to run. 3 guards tackled him before he made it 10 feet. It was over. Catherine emerged from the cave, walked toward Sarah. Commander? Thank you, Sarah knelt. Your Highness, we came as fast as we could. Where's Thomas? Safe. In the northern barracks. The boy's a hero. Catherine looked at Marcus. So is the captain. Marcus shook his head. I'm just a soldier who asked too many questions. You're the man who saved the kingdom, Catherine corrected. Over the next hour, Victor and his conspirators were bound. Taken into custody, the recording device was secured as evidence. Sarah approached Marcus. I heard they declared you a traitor. They did. It's funny. I always thought you were the most loyal man I knew. She extended her hand. Welcome back, Captain. Marcus shook it, smiled. It's good to be back. As they prepared to return to the city, Catherine stood apart, looking toward the castle. Thinking about her father, Marcus joined her. What will you do about the king? I don't know yet, she admitted. He's guilty. But he's also my father. He's weak, not evil. Victor manipulated him. That doesn't excuse what he allowed to happen. No, it doesn't. Catherine turned to face him. But I think my mother would want mercy, not revenge. Your mother would want justice, Marcus said gently. And sometimes justice and mercy can coexist. Catherine nodded. Then that's what we'll seek. Justice. For the kingdom. For the people. For my mother. And for yourself, Marcus added. She looked at him. What do you mean? You've lived in your father's shadow your whole life. Now it's your turn to step into the light. He smiled. Valdoria needs a leader. A real one. Someone brave enough to face the truth. Catherine felt something shift inside her. All her life, she had been told to be quiet. To be obedient. To be the perfect princess. But maybe it was time to be something more. Let's go home, she said. We have a kingdom to save. They rode back to Valdoria. Catherine at the front. Marcus beside her. Behind them, the Northern Guard. And behind them, the prisoners. The city gates opened. People lined the streets. They had heard rumors, whispers. Now they watched as their princess returned. As the traitors were paraded in chains, Catherine rode straight to the castle. To the throne room, King Edmund sat on his throne, aged, tired, broken. He looked up as Catherine entered. Daughter. Father, she replied. We need to talk. The throne room emptied. Catherine had commanded it. Just her and her father, alone. King Edmund. Looked smaller than she remembered. Older. The crown on his head seemed too heavy. The throne too large. I heard what happened, he said quietly. Victor Harrison. The guards. You heard what you allowed to happen, Catherine corrected. He flinched. She placed the recording device on the arm of his throne. Listen to it. All of it. Hear what you've become, Catherine? No, you listen. For once, you listen to me. Her voice shook with anger. With pain, you were going to let them kill Marcus, a man who served you faithfully for 20 years. You were going to fake a rebellion, kill innocent people, steal from your own kingdom. Victor said it was necessary. That it was for the good of Victor said. Victor said. Catherine stepped closer. What about what you say? What about your voice? Your choices? You're the king. I know. Edmund's voice cracked. He stood. The strong king facade crumbled. I know what I've become. I know what I've done then. Why? Catherine's eyes filled with tears. Why did you let him control you? Edmund sank back into his throne. When your mother died, I died with her. The grief. The guilt. I couldn't function. Victor was there. He helped me. Made decisions when I couldn't. And slowly, I stopped making any decisions at all. Mother didn't die of illness, did she? Catherine asked. Silence. Answer me. No, Edmund whispered. She didn't. The truth hit Catherine like a physical blow. You knew? I suspected, but I was too weak to confront Victor. Too scared to know the truth? He looked up at his daughter. I'm sorry. For everything. For her. For you. For the kingdom. Sorry isn't enough. I know. Catherine picked up the recording device. The people will hear this. They'll know what you did. What you allowed, I understand. I'll stand trial. Face justice. Yes, and you'll step down from the throne. Edmund looked at his daughter, saw her strength, her courage, everything her mother had been. Who will rule? He asked. Someone who actually cares about the kingdom. Someone who won't let corruption hide in golden halls. Catherine met his eyes. Me. A small smile touched Edmund's lips. You're so much like her. I'm nothing like you, Catherine said coldly. The words hurt. They were meant to, no, Edmund agreed. You're better. Over the next week, Valdoria transformed. Victor and Harrison stood trial. The evidence was overwhelming. The recording? The hidden treasury. The testimonies of soldiers. They were sentenced to life imprisonment. No execution. Catherine had decided that death was too easy. They would live with their crimes. King Edmund addressed the kingdom, confessed everything. The people were shocked, angry, hurt, but Catherine spoke after him. Promised change. Promised transparency. Promised to rebuild the trust that had been broken. The coronation happened a month later. Princess Catherine became Queen Catherine. Marcus stood beside the throne. Promoted to High Commander, the most trusted position in the kingdom, Thomas received a medal for bravery. The young guard who had risked everything, Alina, recovered from her wound, was given a position in the new royal council. Catherine wanted people she trusted close. Edmund retired to a small estate in the countryside. No power, no influence. Just an old man living with his mistakes. Catherine visited him once. I don't forgive you, she told him. Not yet. Maybe not ever. I don't expect you to, he replied. But I understand you. Grief can destroy us. Fear can control us. You are human. Flawed. She turned to leave. I just wish you had been stronger. So do I, daughter. So do I. 6 months into her reign, Catherine stood on the castle balcony. The city spread below. Peaceful, prosperous, healing. Marcus joined her. The northern provinces are secure. No more fake rebellions. The gold is being restored to the treasury. What about the people Victor hurt? The families who lost loved ones to his schemes? We're compensating them. It's not enough. But it's something. Catherine nodded. It's a start. They stood in silence, watching the sunset paint the sky gold and red. Do you ever wonder what would have happened? Marcus asked. If you hadn't listened to that recording? If Thomas hadn't been brave enough to deliver it? Every day, Catherine admitted, but we can't live in what-ifs. We can only live in what is. And right now, what is a kingdom that's finding its way back to honor. Because of you. Because of us. You, Thomas, Alina, everyone who refused to accept corruption as normal. She smiled. Loyalty doesn't mean blind obedience. It means fighting for what's right, even when it costs you everything. To the queen who taught us that. To the captain who proved it, Catherine replied, as night fell over Valdoria. The castle lights flickered on. Warm. Welcoming. No longer a place of secrets and lies in the city below. Thomas walked home from his guard duties. People stopped him, thanked him, called him hero. He smiled. Thought about that morning when he had knocked on Marcus's door, how scared he had been, how everything had changed with one choice, one moment of courage. Alina sat in her new office, reviewed petitions from citizens, recommendations for the queen. She still limped sometimes. The arrow wound hadn't fully healed, but she wore the scar with pride. In the countryside, Edmund sat by his window, listening to the crickets, remembering better days. His wife's laugh, his daughter's smile before everything broke. He couldn't fix the past, couldn't undo the damage, but maybe, in his own small way, he could spend the rest of his life trying to be better. In the throne room, Catherine worked late, reading reports, signing reforms, building the kingdom her mother had dreamed of. The recording device sat on her desk. She had kept it, a reminder: power corrupts, fear controls, lies destroy, but truth endures. Courage saves. And loyalty, real loyalty, means standing up when everyone else bows down. Catherine looked at the device one last time, then locked it in a secure vault. The story would be told, taught in schools, remembered in songs, a warning, a lesson. When loyalty meets betrayal, you must choose which side you stand on. Catherine had chosen. Truth, Marcus had chosen honor, Thomas had chosen courage, and together they had saved a kingdom, not with swords and battles, but with one secret recording, one brave choice, one moment when someone decided that silence was more dangerous than speaking up. The kingdom of Valdoria stood for 300 years. Now it would stand for 300 more, not because of perfect rulers, but because of people who refused to let corruption win, people who understood that the most powerful weapon isn't a sword, it's the truth and the courage. To share it, the lights in the castle burned through the night. A symbol, a promise. Veldor was healing, and this time, the foundation was built on something stronger than gold. It was built on integrity, the kind that couldn't be stolen, couldn't be corrupted, couldn't be destroyed. As long as people like Marcus and Catherine and Thomas existed, the kingdom would endure, because loyalty, true loyalty, isn't about following blindly. It's about fighting for what's right, even when the world tells you to stay silent. Especially then, this story ends where it began, with truth, with courage, with a choice, and with the understanding that sometimes the greatest act of loyalty is betraying the ones who betrayed everything you stand for. That's not treason, that's justice. And in Valdoria, justice had finally won.